Welcome to Conspiracy. I'm Sammy,
And I'm Taylor.
and we're here to unpack and analyze the world's best conspiracy theories. So buckle up and let's jump in. Welcome back to the podcast, people. How are you, Tay?
I'm good. I'm really tired.
Bro, me too.
It's been a long week.
I almost took a fat nap. Well, I didn't almost. I took a fat nap before this, and I'm still kind of feeling the lingering effects.
She threw herself back in the lazy boy, and I didn't think she was going to be podcasting tonight.
I was like, we'll get her.
Ugh. And it's like on the verge of fall, so you want to snuggle up and be toasty warm and not do anything.
I know.
It's getting there. Tonight, I would say, is the first cold night.
Yeah, I would too.
It's rainy, it's yucky, it's cold, it's a vibe.
Here, I'll look up what the nighttime temperature is.
It's supposed to drop, I think. It's supposed
45. All right. The topic today is something I didn't even really know was a conspiracy until I started doing research. So it's brought to us by all our Gen Zers out there, which I guess technically I would be a part of.
What are the years that age range? Because I don't know if I'm a millennial or what
You're
I
a
am.
millennial. So I think it's like kind of like 2000 is usually like when Gen Z starts, but because I'm 1999, you kind of get lumped in with both.
Well, you're below it.
So
I'm only 97 though, so I'm below it by like 3 years.
you're not a Gen Zer.
I'm not complaining. I don't want to be a Gen Zer.
I wouldn't want to be associated with them either.
But
That's
I'm
why
like,
I usually pick not to.
I also feel like I'm too young to be a millennial. Like I feel like I'm in that awkward phase where I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not
We're
a
too
Gen
late
Z.
in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like people will do like, oh, these references from the 90s, and I'm like, I get some of the
I get
old
about
ones.
half of them, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's just because like we watched older shows when we were kids.
Yeah, so like I don't feel like I fit in either group.
Yeah.
We need like the awkward middle child group.
Mm-hmm.
That's the group I'd fit in.
So the topic today is that birds are not real.
I've heard about this conspiracy, and I think with enough argument, I could buy into it 100%. But I will definitely let you go ahead and present on this one.
I mean, personally, myself, I think birds are real.
Oh, I think that there are real birds
I
out there.
always have thought birds are real, but I mean, they make a pretty compelling argument.
Yeah, there's some stuff I've seen on TikTok because that's where I spend 95% of my time because I love the talk. But I could buy into the argument.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's like a ton of research out there, but like it'll probably be a little bit of a shorter podcast because there's not tons and tons like some of the other stuff we talk about. So the whole conspiracy was brought up by a 23-year-old guy named Peter McIndoe.
Okay.
He started this whole gig kind of in 2017 when he was at a women's rights march in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. Kind of a weird place to come up with a theory.
Yeah. So while he was at this women's rights march, he saw some pro-Trump protesters. So in response to those pro-Trump protesters, he wrote on a sign like birds are not real. Because kind of like, oh, well, you're putting fake news out there, so I'm going to put fake news out there too.
Okay.
And he got photographed with it.
Oh my God. And this is how it took off?
And the photo was posted on social media, and the popularity and support grew like a wildfire.
So was this something, has he spoken out about it? Is this something he believed?
Now he's like a full-blown supporter, and we'll get into why I think he is.
So when he first got into it, was it something that he actually believed, or do you think it was just a joke of like, haha, birds aren't real?
I think it was a joke.
And now people are like, holy shit, birds aren't real.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it kind of built, and now he's like, oh, I guess I'll
go with it.
Correct.
Brought me some fame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now many people are coming forward with support for this up-and-coming conspiracy theory. So it started with its popularity in 2017. There's been a lot of information to hit some pretty popular news sources like New York Times, Fox News, like literally the guy that got photographed with this, so that Peter McIndoe, he got onto Fox News, and we're not talking like daytime fill a slot. We're talking prime time, 7 o'clock, talking about birds are not real.
Okay.
So, I mean, it hit big news outlets.
Okay.
Through lots of digging, I was able to find quite a bit of information about the campaign for birds are not real.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the reason for it all.
Okay.
I mean, it would be pretty hard to make every bird fake.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yet, this is exactly what the United States government funneled millions, if not billions of dollars into doing.
Wait, so there's actually, like, things out there saying that this happened? Okay.
So, there's speculation. I don't
Okay.
want to say it's 100% yes, this money
Okay.
was to that.
Okay.
There's just kind of like some sketchy stuff.
Okay.
So I guess it's presumed or assumed that millions, if not billions of dollars were put into this.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Our government listens to everything. And if you don't think they do, then you are living under a rock.
Yeah. So it's believed that between the years of 1959 and 2001, the U.S. government exterminated all the birds in the U.S. and replaced them with drone replicas.
Okay. So I call BS on that just because there's no way they took out every freaking bird in the US. Now, do I think that they might have put their own birds out into the universe? I would think more so that. I just can't imagine they're going around like, gotta kill them all.
See,
Every single one.
that's kind of where I sit.
Yeah.
But when you look at the person that actually, so this Pete,
Yeah.
he says that every bird in the U.S. is a drone.
Okay, can he explain the dead birds I see in the road sometimes?
It's a drone
But I've seen
that's
their
gotten taken down.
I've seen their guts on the road.
That I have no clue. So it's
Okay.
a drone.
Okay.
It might be like a cover up that they went and planted that there. I
Okay.
don't know.
That's the
his
argument.
explanation of that, but
Okay.
he believes that every single bird you see is a drone.
Okay.
I myself just can't get behind that every single bird I see
Yeah.
is a drone. I think
can't
maybe
either.
some of them are.
I think there are some. We're coming into fall, y'all, and she has been sick for about a week.
No, this week I felt fine.
Oh, well, that's better. But I would agree. I think there are things planted out there. We're
Yeah.
being listened to, and like I said,
But if you don't think your phone's not listening to you, you're in a la la land.
yeah. And some people are like crazy about it, where they're like, "How dare they take my privacy?" And I'm also like, "What the fuck you hiding?
I know. I'm like, guess what? If you want to dig through my personal life, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just don't steal anything.
Look through my Facebook, Instagram, watch me through my phone and my camera. You're not getting a show.
I know.
That what you're getting is probably terrifying to look at. Like, no, you're being watched. Not a huge deal. It is what it is. Honestly, I kind of like the idea of being watched from the standpoint of hopefully they're going to take down anyone that's going to do some crazy shit. Like, hopefully a flag's going up somewhere and they're like, "Ooh, this person mentioned terrorism."
Yeah.
And it gets flagged.
And hopefully then it gets stopped before something happens.
So guess what? Listen to me. What are you going to hear? My made-up conversations on my drive home from work. Finishing arguments
I was going to say, finishing arguments, winning them.
All the things that like I wanted to say but never did. Yeah, that's happening on my drive home.
So in an interview with an ex-CIA member, he revealed that he was working with the CIA between that time period, kind of more like the 70s.
Oh, this is a while ago.
So 1959 up to 2001. When I did more research, it kind of focused more like 1959 up to like 75.
I did not catch the years earlier when you said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 1970s was when this guy was kind of like really in the CIA and was really kind of working for them quite a bit.
What year? Can you remind me? What year did he claim all of them were killed and they were replaced?
It's been a process. It's not like they killed every single bird in like a year.
That's how I interpreted it.
No, it's like...
I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy fuck. So
It's-
in one
it's
year
like
they're just
at
sending people out.
In this time period, I think it's like 40 years.
Okay, so it was a long time period.
Correct. They didn't do this overnight.
That makes it more believable. Not that I'm saying I believe it, but that makes it more believable. I thought it was 1 year.
No.
And I'm like, dude, they killed every fucking bird in the U.S.
Not possible.
Well, that and like, what about the birds that migrate here? So like, if there's one coming from Canada, are they fucking killing it and putting it? Oh, they're like, nope, needs to be a robot.
Maybe.
I just have questions. So many questions.
Okay, so he was a part of the CIA during that time period, during which he was a part of a top secret mission called Water the Country.
Water?
Water.
Like drinking water?
Correct.
Water the country.
That was their code word for removing all the living birds during that time.
It's a weird code name.
Yeah, but talk about like making no sense at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't attract attention.
No. So
I don't know how I feel
Water
about
the
that.
Country. He went on to explain how the majority of the process was conducted. They would first drop poison gas from airplanes. Later, they would send people to go and collect all the dead birds, and even later still, they would then replace them with fake birds that were essentially electronic decoys that could watch and collect information about the U.S. citizens in their day-to-day lives.
Okay, has PETA jumped on this case? Because they're fucking killing animals. PETA should be number one on the picket lines with this.
Pete is probably like, it's not real. It's a conspiracy theory, so they probably aren't going to jump on board.
I wouldn't like that. I don't like that.
So they said they dropped poison gas from airplanes,
Okay.
and that's how they did it. Although this is not the only tactic used to exterminate all the birds, because if you think of like a city, dropping poison gas on it
There's people.
would kill people, animals, all kinds of stuff.
It would kill people or it would like severely make them sick, I would think.
There'd just be like severe repercussions if they did it on an actual city.
Yeah.
So instead, they had to kind of deploy different notions of removing the birds from our day-to-day lives where we would possibly see it.
So they're just sniping off the top of business buildings.
Kind of.
Shut up. Seriously?
So the U.S. government set aside large amounts of funds and supposedly worked with Boeing engineers in a highly secure area within Area 51, creating something called the Turkey X500.
Holy fuck.
Which is a robot about the size of a real-life turkey.
Okay.
Or maybe not a real-life turkey, since those are probably drones.
Oh my god.
So they use that to hunt birds all across the U.S.
So a turkey robot is flying through the sky, taking out birds.
Not even necessarily flying, it could just be walking. So I think it could do either.
So they're just releasing these robotic turkeys going, go fucking kill.
There wasn't a lot of research on it, so that was something that they said could have been a potential.
My god.
Another way that was used to get rid of the U.S. of birds was using specially altered B-12 bombers stocked with poison that took out many of the 12 billion birds at the time.
If this is true, and if it is, it'll likely never come out in my lifetime, but if this is true, this is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm all...
When I was reading some of these theories, I was like, oh my, we're stretching here.
You want to spy on me, that's fine. Don't fucking kill every goddamn bird in the U.S. Just put your own out there.
Well, and like, there's so many... Like, if you go to like a university...
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we dissected a bird.
Yeah.
But are these birds that the government has saved and now they own all of the dissection places and they send out birds from the 19 whatevers and they're sending us old ones?
I just can't.
Or are they birds from another
mad.
country?
This makes me mad.
It's only supposedly happening in the U.S.
Yeah, because we are hypersensitive.
Could we get birds from another country and they use those for dissections in labs where it's actually a real bird?
The only thing with this conspiracy is I feel like there are too many plot holes.
Yeah.
Is that the word, plot hole? Whatever. You know what I mean. That, like, okay, what about migrating birds? Are we just having people stands on, like, the coastlines going, no, a fucking bird can't come into America, and it's shooting it down? Like...
Well, most birds migrate within the U.S.
I know, but on the off chance,
like they go to Florida. Yes, there's some that like come from Mexico or Canada.
But I'm just like,
but maybe they're like, we'll let those ones in.
We'll let those ones fly.
They can figure out, holy shit, this bird's weird.
I don't know, man. I believe that there are some out there. I just don't know if I can buy that every fucking bird you see is a robot.
I mean, the example that always gets used is, have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Have I ever seen, like, a real adult pigeon is the real question.
Yeah, you've seen an adult.
Have I?
Yeah. Do you know what a pigeon is?
Yeah, it's like those, like, little fat gray birds.
Yeah, and they got, like, the weird head, and they go...
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish you guys could see that. I don't know if I've seen one in person, have I?
If you're on any city street, you probably have seen one.
We have. We had baby pigeons born under our pine tree outside. They didn't live. Animals got to them. It was really sad. So I never actually saw them alive. I saw them dead.
Maybe they were planted.
I do remember that because me and mom were like, why did this mother, she laid her eggs down in like the wood chips. I never saw them alive, but you definitely saw like guts were played. Yeah, baby.
How do you know it was a pigeon?
Because I saw the mama pigeon.
How do you know that was even her nest? Maybe she was eating them.
That's even sadder. That's fucking sick. Well, we assumed that it was mama's pigeons and they didn't make it. But maybe mama pigeon was just being a bitch and ate someone else's eggs.
Okay.
So, no, I have not seen a baby pigeon.
Okay.
That's the long way to answer your question.
Okay. That's because they don't exist.
But when I think about it, I can't say that I've ever seen a baby bird of any kind. Because they're not flying around. They're living in the nest.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the adult ones fly around.
They're sheltered, apparently, at baby ages.
I see them, like, in documentaries where you see, like, their little beaks coming out of the nest going, ah, ah, feed me, that kind of...
That or when they fly for the first time.
And
that's always so scary.
Some of them make it and some of them don't.
Some of them hit it hard on the ground.
It's not good.
I mean, why would the government waste time creating baby birds? It would really only make it more noticeable when they were never growing up and they were staying in the same area. So, like, if you were walking down the street and you walk past a bird every day, if it stayed a baby, you'd be like, that bird's never growing up.
Oh, that's a valid point.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, why would they waste money making drone birds that are baby versioned when people are going to be seeing them quite a bit?
I don't like that you made a fair point. I think our goal this weekend, we're gonna catch a fucking bird. We'll go out, we'll buy a big ass net, and we'll just run around our yard trying to catch a bird.
Catch them with a butterfly net I got at Walmart.
Now I'm just intrigued. I'm enthralled.
So instead of making baby birds, the government produced large quantities of adult birds and deployed them into our city streets to keep an eye on us at all times.
Okay.
They monitored our every move, kept their eyes peeled for any possible controversy.
Okay.
Another argument, or kind of like a go-to argument, is have you ever been successfully touching a wild bird? So not in a zoo or a pet store. We're talking about a wild bird.
No, because I fucking hate birds and I run when they swoop at me. So no, never have successfully touched one.
That's because the government does not want you touching them.
Then tell me, why the fuck are they swooping at me?
Well, maybe they're scaring you, saying, hey, fucking touch me and I'll hurt you.
Well, you got me scared because I fucking run.
Yes, so, I mean, they don't want us wrecking their millions of dollars worth of drones, so they are going to train us to not want to catch them.
Okay, I have another question because I'm trying to poke holes in this because I feel like this is the first theory we could maybe poke holes in. Is a duck a bird? Because
I would consider it a bird.
they obviously weren't replaced because duck hunting season, they must not have fallen into the correct category in the government because
Maybe they're focusing on, like, pigeons and,
like small
like, city birds.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if you think about it, I would classify a duck as a bird because it can fly. But like, I don't know if duck hunting is a nation.
Technically, we hunt turkeys, too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
maybe
what I'm
the turkey bird was just out there as a
decoy.
decoy, killing all the
God.
other real birds.
Yeah, that's like I said. I'm trying to poke holes because any other theory I haven't been able to poke holes in. This is
It's
kind of
like certain birds they
Yeah.
might have went after. But then the birds are not real
hmm
campaign says every bird.
That's my thing.
That's my thing. I
Mhm.
don't think it's every bird.
I don't think so because like
but he does.
when you think about it, like we turkey hunt, we pheasant hunt, we duck hunt. I mean, we live in the Midwest, so hunting any animal. But I don't know if that's common other places. So maybe
Yeah.
ducks in other places are robots. But I know here we're shooting them out
But
of the
my
sky.
thing's like, okay, well, I guess a duck could be in a park. I'm like, what would a duck even have anything to do with human surveillance?
I would think it would like sit in like the ponds in New York City and just
Yeah.
whack
Yeah.
whack whack, and like his little robotic eyes watching anyone that walks by.
Yeah.
Has it ever eaten the feed you've thrown it?
Ooh.
When like feeding animals, I've seen people feed ducks. Have anyone fed any other birds? Are they eating the food?
I don't know. Maybe they peck at it.
But then my other thing is okay.
Bird feeders.
Yeah, bird feeders. And what about when they're shitting on me from the sky? Are they putting shit in these birds and then stuffing the birds and shitting on me?
We'll talk about that.
I have so many questions.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So I mean, when they see people or other animals approaching them, they're going to fly away rather quickly. But like if you stand still, majority of the time the bird will stay there and kind of keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
That's because it's tracking. It's getting data.
I don't like that. I'm gonna swing at every fucking bird I see now. I'm gonna come
This-
out guns ablaze and just be like, pop, pop, pop.
This one guy I was watching when I was doing some research, and I got kind of into like a loophole of his videos.
Okay.
He's like, when I see a bird, I literally just freeze and stand there. And he goes, because if the government knows that they aren't going to get any information from me, eventually the bird will just leave me alone.
Oh, that's not a bad idea of thinking.
Yeah.
We get birds in our front bushes all the time. I'm just gonna go stand out there and
But
stare.
mind you, then he's like, and then sometimes I run at them to make them know to fear me. I'm like, really? Really?
What do you want the government thinking here? Should you be feared or should you be left alone?
Okay, jumping back in.
Okay.
The supporters of this conspiracy have even gone as far to protest in front of Twitter's headquarters, demanding that they change their logo away from a bird because birds aren't real.
Bruh, that happened.
Which is not so surprising after Elon Musk, an avid supporter of a lot of conspiracy theories, suddenly changed the bird to X.
Oh my god.
Is this a subtle way of supporting the birds are not real campaign?
The stars are aligning, people.
I know.
See, there's convincing arguments, but I think, like I said, there are a lot of...
There's enough loopholes or enough, like, potholes,
I just-
openings. I don't know what to even call it.
I feel like in the year 2023, we have better technology to spy on people than using birds.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think there are some out there? 100%. But, like, you can just look through my camera phone. You can hack my fucking phone or my laptop and be like, this is what she's doing. Like,
Mhm.
I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, keep going. Just, you're good.
In the 1970s, there was actually people who discovered that birds were no longer real and were instead drone replicas that were indistinguishable from what once was.
Okay.
They actually started a movement called Birds Aren't Real back in 1987.
So this happened long before Poster Boy.
Correct.
Oh.
Which the government quickly quieted. But because there wasn't internet back then, the movement didn't really pick up. But I
Okay.
mean, there's photographs. It almost looked like a campaign trail where
Oh,
you
okay.
can see like Birds Are Not Real 87. You can see everything, but literally the government shut it down. And because there was no
Mass media.
correct to kind of carry it,
Okay.
it shut down. So
It's not like you're
now-
snapping a picture for the Instagram.
Yep. And now with the help of the internet, it's much easier to spread news and information and kind of really learn the truth about our bird replicas of today.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
So let's get into some ideas that would support the government creating bird drones as a way to spy on people of the U.S. There are many thoughts out there, but the most convincing arguments are the following.
Okay.
Birds sit on power lines to recharge themselves.
I really. Oh, I did not want the first theory to be a convincing one.
Is that not good?
Their feet are like the little ports.
I know.
God damn it.
And they're like wiry, so they could conduct.
I don't like you right now.
But doesn't that make total sense?
Their little, like, freaking little fingers probably just curl over the line and go.
And mind you, the ones we're all looking at are usually living in the city. So, I mean, they could be sitting on the sidewalk, but then all of a sudden, eventually, they're going to go to a power line of some sort.
Every bird sits on a power line here.
And there's power lines everywhere because stuff is not buried, really.
No. This makes me upset. This makes me really upset because that's such a valid point.
Yeah, right?
I don't know if that would be valid for everywhere in the U.S., but where we live, 100% valid point.
And for the most places where where the government's going to want to be surveilling, it's going to
Yeah.
be city places.
Mhm.
It's going to be urban.
You're not going to be going to country Montana.
Correct. Because what are you really going to be getting there unless someone's building like a nuke in their backyard?
The grass grew another inch this month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay, the other is that birds poop on cars as a method of tracking. So the poop has tracking devices in it. So it'll poop on a specific car and track where it's traveling.
Then I get tracked a fuck ton. Why? What do they want with me?
Well, you don't know.
Oh, I don't like that either.
So that's the other thing is that like they're saying,
So do these birds have to go back somewhere to get reloaded? Where is the shit coming from?
I don't know.
Like, are they going to get stuffed every
I mean,
night?
because I feel like it would have to have some aspect of like an electronic piece in it.
Yeah. If you're tracking through their shit, 100%.
And I mean, when I've scrubbed bird shit off of my car, I don't think I've ever noticed a little tracking device, but who knows what their tracking device looks like? It's the U.S. government. They probably have so much hidden from us.
It's
We know there's
probably-
aliens in Area 51, but they aren't going to tell us that.
It's probably fucking like a liquid tracker.
Correct.
I just scrubbed it off, put it on my sponge, and ran through my washer. It's in Lake Winnebago right now, baby.
There's trackers everywhere, baby.
I don't like either of those arguments because they both seem kind of convincing.
Another
Oh, God.
is that John F. Kennedy,
Hell yeah.
who we talked about in an earlier episode,
JFK, baby.
diving into his assassination, was not killed by his wife or a hitman, but instead it really was the government. But not for the reason you think.
Jackie Kennedy killed her husband. I will stand by that statement.
So they think the government killed him, but instead it was because he was against the movement to kill all the birds during his presidency and replace them with drones. So they killed him and replaced him with somebody that was for that.
I mean, that would make it would make sense. I could see it, but I think that they probably paid off Jackie to land the kill shot.
Sure, we'll give it to you.
Okay, you saw that podcast. I presented very well.
And then another theory is that this is all just fluke, and now it's being used as a marketing tool to make a shit ton of money selling Birds Are Not Real merchandise.
Honestly, all very convincing. Oh, all of them but JFK because
I mean, because Peter has never commented on specifically how much money has been made, but it's safe to say with a sweatshirt going for the rough price of $72
Holy fuck.
and a basic t-shirt selling for $34, that Peter is probably raking in money off of this conspiracy. So
100%.
and then most times when I checked his merchandise website, lots of the items were sold out and waiting to be restocked. So the demand is definitely there.
Good Lord.
So
He's
in
making a
my
pretty
eyes,
chunk of change.
in my eyes, he makes total sense to continue to support and grow the Birds Aren't Real following because it
Yeah.
continues to grow his fortune.
Yeah. Why would you be dumb?
I'd go on news sites and say, yeah, birds aren't real, and here's all the information to back it up.
I wish I could get rich like that.
I know. I need to come
I'm
up-
gonna
I
say
need to get
something.
a picture with a sign.
Yeah. A sign that something's going to take off. Give me mass popularity. I will screen print on whatever piece of clothing you want. Because I want enough money that I can retire at 26.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Especially after the week I've had. Teaching
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah, they're
It's so hard.
exhausting. I'll give you that. This week the kids were like off the walls though.
Yes.
And
was
it
a
wasn't
full
even
moon?
no, that was last week.
It's
I'm like, my
just-
kids were pretty good last week, so maybe full moons are my good weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a long. I mean, the weather change I don't think is helping.
No.
And like, we're fine. We're like well into school now. We're in by over a month. So like,
And I was talking to one of my teachers at my school, and she goes, October is always the worst.
and
I just don't remember October being the worst, but it probably was. I was just in the heat of it.
I think my head's just on fire every year at the beginning of the year, so I don't remember it year to year.
I'm always like bouncing off the walls.
The beginning of the year is just so crazy because it's like boom, boom, boom. Like
Mhm.
you get in, you have Halloween, which is exciting and fun for little kids where I am.
I still dress up, so
We don't, sadly, but
because you're lame.
but like we have Halloween, which is exciting. Then you get right to Thanksgiving break. Then you have Christmas break, and then you have the longest fucking months of the year, January and February. They are the longest months, like of all time.
That's because you're waiting for spring break.
And it's so long.
I literally have countdowns until spring break. One of my
They're
kids-
sad months
one of
because
my-
they're dark.
One of my kids already wanted to start the countdown to winter break. I'm like, it's too soon. I can't have a number on my board quite yet.
I have a number in my teacher planner. We have 151 days with students left.
I can't do that. Not yet. I'm not to that point. Usually by the time we hit about like Thanksgiving break and we come back, I'm like, all right, we can start the countdown.
Yeah.
But then once you start that countdown, it's like, oh, we're so close, but we're so far away.
Yeah. And mind you, mine's not like days until summer. It's just days with students.
Yeah.
And it's not like I want to kick them out and get rid of them.
No, but it's like we're almost there.
I'm living for summer, baby. I like my summer months.
Yeah.
So, but I think you had some very convincing arguments.
Yes. So what do we think? Are birds really drone replicas of what once was? Or did Peter McIndoe make all this up so he could make a buck off merchandise?
I think this is going to be my official statement.
Okay.
So I think that whatever year this began, because I don't remember.
1969.
1959?
1959.
So I think from that time to maybe 2000.
And it says 2001.
Oh, okay. I think in that time range that they might have implemented some birds.
Correct.
I don't think they killed off every bird and implemented only robotic birds. I think they implemented some birds to listen in, surveil, do all of that. I don't know if I necessarily believe that they're still out there now just because we're in 2023 and everyone around has a smartphone glued to their hand.
Yeah.
So
And
I
I
just-
feel like they can get so much better stuff through our phones.
I would love to know the data on how many times are you recorded on camera every day.
Tons.
Grocery stores, stop and go lights, in your car. Most people have a car or dash cam now.
Your phone.
Your phone, your laptop, your fucking TV probably records you and you just don't even
If
know
you have
it.
a smart TV, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like you are
'Cause
on
some
camera.
TVs you can like wave and it'll turn on.
That's kind of scary.
I don't like it.
Ghosts are gonna be turning on my shit, and I don't need that.
Oh God, that'd be so terrifying.
You're just gonna walk into your living room and be like, oh well,
TV's on.
Susan walked through here again.
And it is on their favorite channel.
Just TV static all time. So yes, that would be my official statement. That I think at one point they might have had some out there. I don't know if they're still
I just
there.
don't think it's still. The fact that every single bird, I don't think it's every single bird. I think there might be like 1,000, 100,000 out there. I just
Yeah.
don't think that they're as popular as they maybe once were way back then.
Yeah, I mean, if you want something, put it on like the most obvious thing ever. Put it on a stop and go light.
Yeah.
Like surveil from right there, because guess what? No one's gonna question that. They're gonna go, oh, that's normal.
But you know what? If you went past the same post every single day and there was the exact same bird sitting in the exact same spot, never moving, I'd be like, that's a little weird.
Now I'm gonna have to watch these goddamn birds when I leave for work in the morning and come home at night.
Yeah.
This is added to the stress of my life. Now I have so much extra things I have to do.
That's what I live for.
Good Lord.
So that's all we got for you. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review. Like us on Facebook and Instagram at Conspiracy Podcast 1. And remember to tune in for next week's episode, which will be posted on Wednesday. See ya.
Bye, guys.